Hi, I'm Sergeant Darren Love. This is Sergeant Brad Griffith. We're crew chiefs on a UH-60 Blackhawk, and today we're going to go over the passenger brief for the UH-60. First thing is what military and civilians are required to have while they're flying on the helicopter. So if you're military personnel, you need to have your ID tags and your ID card. All civilian personnel need to be registered on an ITO before they can fly. We have 2 survival kits in the front of the helicopter that have the basic survival equipment should we have to use a precautionary landing at some point. So entry and exit out of the helicopter. So we use o'clock positions just like on your watch for entry and exit out of the helicopter. The 12 o'clock is going to be the front of the helicopter at all times. 3 o'clock will be to the right, the 6 o'clock will be at the tail, the 9 o'clock will be at the left side of the helicopter. While you're in the helicopter, you'll stay seated and belted in at all times. At no point will you attempt to move around the helicopter or the cabin inside the helicopter. Certain individuals or VIPs will be put on internal communications so that they can talk to the crew and have good communication with the crew while flying. There'll be no smoking on any Army helicopter, probably any Army aircraft for that matter. Hearing protection is required at all times in a helicopter. They are very loud aircraft, so we don't want anybody to damage their hearing, so please use hearing protection. In the case that we do have to precautionary land, you'll stay inside at all times until the rotor blades stop turning. You'll take commands from the crew chief at all times. If you do exit, we'll exit out of the 3 or the 9 o'clock positions. We'll stay upwind of any smoke at that time. We will then meet outside the rotor disc for a head count. If you have to leave the aircraft immediately for a reason like fuel, smoke, fire, water, you'll exit again out of the 3 or the 9 o'clock positions. You'll get on the ground, you'll crawl outside the rotor disc. The main rotor can droop up to 4 feet in an emergency, so stay on the ground. Again, the biggest thing during an emergency is listen to your crew chief, use your head, and stay calm. Sergeant Griffith is going to demonstrate how to use the seatbelt system in a UH-60 Blackhawk. It's a 4-point system for our passengers. We have the buckle itself. You twist the buckle to release your seatbelt. And to put your seatbelt in, you simply just insert it into the side. Then you take your 2 shoulder harness straps and insert them into the top of the buckle. You then take the tails of the seatbelt and pull them tight around your waist and on your shoulder harness. It's important to make sure your buckle stays down at your waist the entire time. Should your buckle come up to your chest, it could cause severe injury in a crash sequence. All right, Sergeant Griffith is going to demonstrate how to use our VIP headset. This is a wireless set. The crew chief will set it up for you prior to the flight. So the only thing you need to be pressing is your push to talk button, which when you push it allows you to talk into the microphone on your headset. So make sure that the microphone on your headset is as close to your mouth as you can get it at all times. Use a very projecting voice when you do talk. Even with the headset on or internal communications, it's very hard to hear each other just due to the noise of the helicopter. If you are having a hard time hearing, make sure that your volume on the side of the headset is turned all the way up. So now we're going to go over the emergency equipment inside the helicopter. So first of all, we have our fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is for personnel only, so you'd only use it in a situation where personnel would be directly endangered by fire. Second thing we have is first aid kits. We have 3 first aid kits. All 3 of them are located on the back of the pilot's seat. You simply pull on it to get it off. Last piece of emergency equipment we have is the crash axe, which is located beneath the right side pilot's seat. You can use the crash axe to get out of the helicopter in a precautionary landing where the doors and emergency exits might be jammed shut. We have 1 survival bag that sits right behind the pilot's seat. And this is a survival bag with the general equipment like water, blankets, a little bit of food. These are emergency exits on the UH-60. We have 2 cargo door windows on each side. So to release the cargo door window, you're going to pull the Velcro tape off, pull the yellow and black handle to the rear, which will release the windows, and you do have to push the windows out. The other emergency exit we have on the UH-60 is the pilot's doors. In order to release the pilot's door, you pull the yellow and black handle to the rear, which separates the mechanism inside the door and allows the door to come off. Again, you still need to kick the door, the front of the door with your foot to push the door off. All right, so it's imperative in anytime you're approaching or leaving the helicopter that you stay away from the 6 o'clock. You can see here that the tail rotor, it comes down very low, and if you walk anywhere near that, it could hit you while it's running. We don't know what happens then. So from the cargo doors back is where you want to stay away from, and as I said earlier, at all times, follow the command of the crew chief and he will keep you out of these areas. But in the event that you don't see a crew chief or that you have to exit without a crew chief, stay away from anything in the tail rotor or anything back here at the back of the helicopter.